What's up, everybody? We're just sharing out the lives. Make sure you guys hit that like button and share this live to all your social medias, man. We'll be getting started ASAP. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. This is going to be a really dope one. We're almost ready, you guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button and share this live out to all your social medias. The more people we can get in here, the longer the live will go on, the more questions we got, and you know, it'll be a really dope one, man. Appreciate y'all. let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it. Big shout out to all y'all for tuning in, man. Let me make sure everything's set up right here. All right, here we go. Man, big shout out to everybody that's tuned in, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Again, share the live out to all your social medias, man. This is going to be a really dope one. We're going to be bringing on one of our Killinois family members. This is the first person that's ever jumped on our live. You know what I mean? You know, we got people that we could bring on, but we're really trying to get those Killinois members on here. But, you know, big shout out to the homie Matt from Ohio. You know, he's a Killinois family member, been rocking out with us for a really long time. He picked up a female from us. He's used a couple of our studs. And today we're going to bring him on and show you guys and let you guys hear his story, man. He's got a really dope one. If you ever thought about being an American Bully breeder and, you know, this might change your mind, man. And, you know, the homie Matt, you know, really did his thing, man. You know, he's going to tell his whole story. And I won't be able to get to everybody's comments just right off the bat. You know, we're going to let him tell his story. And then after he gets done telling the whole story, we're going to answer all your guys' questions, man. So big shout out to all of you. Yeah, man, but that's pretty much it, man. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit of these comments real quick. That way we're all the way caught up. We got Nas in the building. He says, sup, first here. Appreciate you, big dog. We got King Tevo in the building. Big shout out to you for tuning in. We got Levi Reyes in the building. He says, was just watching the last video for the second time. Ha ha ha. Here it is live. Let's go. That's right, man. Big shout out to the homie Levi Reyes, man. He always shows us love in the comment section. He's hitting that like button, sharing out these videos and all that, bro. We appreciate you. Nas says, what's up, people? Hit that like button. Thanks. We appreciate you, Nas. Thanks for tuning in. Denzel says, what's up, family? Love watching your channel. You the dog goat. You got the juice now. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Levi Reyes says, one love to everybody from Tucson, Arizona. Appreciate you, big dog. We got Hawaii in the building. Keanu Burgess says, aloha, Killinois Hammers. That's right, that's right. We got Miss Killinois in the building. Big shout out to you. Jesse in the building. That's another major Killinois supporter. He says, what's good, Killinois Kennels fan? What's good with you, big dog? Juan Eno says, much love for the Marianas. That's right, that's right. Big shout out to you for tuning in, man. Furman Broom says, what's good, brother? What's good with you, big dog? Thanks for tuning in. Al's Bully Kennel says, I moved a litter of 12 on my first breeding to a new house. Short story is they all died from parvo. Sorry to hear that, man. That's the risk you take of moving puppies and stuff, man. I'm sorry to hear that. The yard was infested with it. I had to move and start all over. I'm sorry to hear that, big dog. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's really unfortunate. King Tevo says, tuned in from Memphis. Finally caught alive. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Debo says, Napoleon and Siri breeding. Keep a female. I'll tell you what, man. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We got something major going down on our next drop. Stay tuned for it. Jesse says, this live is going to be dope. I know that's right, big dog. I know that's right. Big shout out to the homie Matt for joining us. Juanino says, all the way in the West Pacific. That's right, that's right. Ronnie Roscoe says, peace and love, Killinois. That's right, that's our Killinois family right there. He's got his female he just picked up from us in his profile picture. Big shout out to all the Killinois family members that's putting those profile pictures of the dogs they picked up from us. That's a way for me to actually learn who you are in our comments. We got a lot of people that join our lives that are Killinois family members and they never comment on our channel, so we don't really know who they are. And with you putting your dog in the picture, that'll get us a better version of we know exactly who we're talking to. Derek Lee says, Monstrat in the house. That's right. Big shout out to the homie Derek Lee. He's somebody that picked up a pup He picked up 2 pups from this drop, 1 from each litter, and they're heading out to Montserrat out there in the Caribbean out there. Big shout out to you for tuning in, Killinois family. Appreciate you. Denzel 101 says, love your channel. You're the dog goat. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Furman Broom says, like and share. I know that's right. Hit that like button and share out this live to all your social medias. Albert Rand says, what's up? Been following you for a long time. Fire will be doing business with you here really soon. Okay, that's what's up, man. Get with us and we'll take care of you. Pop Tire says, my boy, biggest in the game. Appreciate you, Pop Tire, man. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for always showing love, bro. Appreciate you. Old white lady says, you're the bully king. Appreciate that, old white lady. 2OG says, welcome to the Killinois Kennels family. Welcome to Killinois Kennels family, new members. Dogs are dope. What's good, Dayton? What's good, Killinois family? We got Pete in the house. That's going to be another Killinois family member. He says, what's up, Big D? Much love to all the Killinois family members. Go hit that like button. I know that's right. I know that's right. Brian Flattery says, Killinois Kennels International. I know that's right, big dog. That's our Killinois family out there in Florida. Big shout out to you for tuning in, bro. We got 55 people in the building. 55 people in the building. Let's see where we at. 19 likes. Come on, you guys. Hit that like button, man. It ain't that hard, man. We need to get the likes. That way we can get this video out there. Hit the like button and share out the live. Al's Bully Kennel says, I've been watching your channel since 2019. That's what's up, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. He says, you the GOAT. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Share it. Sierra Rogers, I hope that's right, says subscribe. Big shout out to you. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Excuse me. Jesse says, hit that like button, or hit the like and share. That's right, man. Hit that like button, you guys. 25 likes. Big shout out to those that just hit that like button. Again, make sure everybody hits that like button, man. We appreciate all you. Let's see. It looks like I've caught up with everything for the most part, man. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and bring Matt in. You know, like I said, this is a Killinois family member. He's been rocking out with us for a long time. He picked up a female from us. And he also did a couple breedings with, you know, some dogs we're going to show you guys here in a second. But let's go ahead and introduce Matt to the channel, man. Big shout out to him. Let's go here. Where we at? All right, here we go. Boom. All right, Matt, you're about to be in here, big dog.
All right.
About to be in here. Here we go, you guys. Everybody, all you Killinois family members, welcome the homie Matt to the channel, man. Matt's been rocking out with us for a long time. He's been a supporter of the channel. He always hits the like button on the videos, shares out the videos and all that. And you know, we're gonna get him on here and kind of let him tell his story today, man. So you know, one thing I want to ask you, Matt, is like, how did you come across our channel, big dog?
When I started doing some research, I got interested in the breed. Just straight up on YouTube, man, you were one of the first ones that popped up. And you know, there's a lot of content out there, but something that attracted me to your kennel more than others. And I don't know how long ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, you had dropped a video like showing your kennel. And that told him like, okay, like, you know, he's got it going on. He knows what's going on. He knows what he's doing, basically, you know. And ever since then, and you know, Stella was one of the videos that I seen. It was either her own video or one of her litters that you had. That I really like that dog, you know. So I was rocking with you, following you ever since.
Oh, that's right, man. Everybody, you know, a lot of people love that girl Stella, man. You know, she's retired now. She's just living it up, man. But you know, Stella actually is a lot of people's favorites on the channel, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you know, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of your story here, bro. So you know, here we go. Let's go. Let's see here. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it, you guys. So when, oh, my bad, wrong one. My bad, wrong one. So the first time Matt got with us, you know what I mean, was off of this litter right here. And this female right here is the girl he ended up picking up. That's his girl, Sasha. He got a litter, he got a pup out of White Folks Jr. and Blutiful, and you guys will be seeing them here in a second, you know. Go ahead and let everybody know, like, you know, what kind of made you, you know, come through on this specific puppy right here, bro.
Right. Well, like I said, I've been following you for 5 or 6 years, and I wanted to learn more about the breed. And before I started calling you, I picked up a male, from some, local, kind of like backyard breeder or whatever. Before I knew, enough about the breed and just about dogs in general. And then as he grew, I realized like he was not breed stock. You know what I mean? So I got him fixed. And he's just a pet right now. So I was watching the videos and looking for a look, and I mean all the dogs you drop and all the litters you drop are always dope.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, Matt. For some reason, we got an echo going. They're saying here. What the hell? Man, that sucks. Hold on one second. What you guys are looking at right now is going to be the father of the dog that he picked up. Matt needs to fix his mic. Hold on one second here, man. Let's try to get this figured out. I don't know why that's echoing, man. That ain't making no sense here. Let me see here. Let me see if oh, okay. Now I know. All right, go ahead and talk a little bit. All right,
this is gonna be, man.
Right,
I can't
so what
remember
you're looking
the
at
numbers
now,
right now, but this female's going
is
to
Sasha about to go into the ground shippers van, and then be brought out to me. It was a crazy blizzard, like literally blizzard during that time. I was gonna make the trip out. Is it sounding better?
Yeah. Hey, is that sounding better, you guys? Way better now. Better. Okay. We're good. So again, this is gonna be the father of the litter he picked up. This is White Folks Jr. And here in a second, you guys are gonna see the mother. This is gonna be our girl, Blutiful. Go ahead and man, I can't remember. Wherever you cut off now. That was my bad, you guys. I got it fixed on the echo. You're 100% good now, Matt. As far as I know. Yeah, they're saying
right.
perfect.
Cool.
So
yep.
This right here is gonna be Matt's female getting picked up from the ground shipper, Randy. And this was like a blizzard this day, man. This was a crazy snowstorm. So this isn't going to be the best footage of her, but this is actually her where you can see her getting picked up, and about 6 of the other puppies.
So a couple years prior to this litter, where I actually, was able to purchase Sasha, I didn't know how serious it was to like call and then keep calling, and I didn't know, like, I didn't realize a few years back that like they're all going to sell out that night. So you would drop the litter. I don't remember which one it was, Dayton, but I'd called like the next day, like stepped out of work and called. And, obviously they've been gone for 12 hours or more, you know what I mean? So I just kept, watching the videos until this one came along, man. And she was actually the one out of the whole the video that like showed all the pups and like the whole litter. She was actually the one that I wanted. And that night we started calling. We were calling from 3 different numbers, literally sitting in the living room. Called over 1,000 times and got her. And I'd have made the drive out there, but like Dave was saying before, it was a literal like blizzard. Like the Midwest was like shut down for a week or two, kind of stuff. I mean, super crazy snow. And I'm glad I decided to go with the ground shipper because I was going to make the trip And that day out here in Ohio, it started snowing real bad because we got the same type of weather. I'd have never made it. You know what I mean? It's like a 10, 11-hour drive one way. And like as much snow and, ice and all that stuff that got dumped, I would have never made that. I don't know what would have happened there or back, but I wouldn't have made the trip for sure. I mean, it was just absolutely like you couldn't be driving during this time. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so we went with the ground sugar. It was Randy at that point in time, and um, he had his route, but obviously we knew, to be patient. And about a few days later, a week or so later, she shows up at the front door.
That's right. That's right. This is
Yep.
going to be some footage of the girl he ended up picking up from us. She was right around a year old at this time. Keep in
Yep.
mind that Matt one thing one thing is Matt at this time really wasn't sending out a ton of footage of the dogs, barely even recorded his dog. And this is just the best clip he had ever sent me. She isn't fully matured in this clip, but,
No.
super nice girl, as you guys can see. There's not a whole lot of footage of her, man. Matt wasn't kind of prepared to get all that to us at this specific time, but we did want you
Right.
guys to see a little bit of video of her, and this is his girl Sasha here, man.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right at like a year. We
yeah.
took her out to the lake. I knew I needed to get some. That's like my favorite picture of her, man.
Right. This is more of a little bit updated pic of her, but this is not her fully matured by no means. You know what I
No.
mean? He didn't send out tons of stuff of this girl, and but I mean it is what it is. We just want you guys to get a real good look at, the female that he had picked up, man. Go ahead and let these guys know a little something about this girl, man, like, that type of
For
deal.
sure. I mean, man, she was my girl, like I got other dogs, but like I come home from work and I got a fence like at the end of my driveway. And right before I'd peel off around the corner to go to the front door where she'd like lose sight of me, she'd like beat me to the back door where all the other dogs are still standing at the gate. I mean, that was just my girl. Like her temperament was so chill, so gentle, so sweet. Her structure was nice. She was a straight bull. She just fell into the fold of the house really well. You know what I mean? I got 2 kids. She was great with the kids. Um, she was just an overall. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. In a dog. She was just absolutely, absolutely, absolutely beautiful. In all areas and aspects of life, for sure.
For sure, for sure. That's right, man. That's right. Let's go ahead and you know, the first time Matt bred this girl, he actually bred her to our boy Killinois Kennels Big Clout. He had a real nice litter, not a super big litter, but he only ended up with 2 pups, but he ended up with 2 super nice pups. And like I told you, at this time, Matt really wasn't like out pushing the dogs as far as like getting footage of them, sending them out. So we don't have anything specific to show you off of this litter right at this exact moment, but he did have a super nice litter with Big Clout, and we will be showing you guys those puppies here soon. So make sure you guys stay tuned for it. How old are they right now, Matt?
Right over a year. They're probably about like 15 months or so.
Okay,
16
that's
months.
what's up. That's what's
Yep.
up. On his second litter, or on his second breeding, he ended up putting up, on his second litter here, he ended up breeding his girl to Vanilla Gorilla, man. And what did you see in Vanilla Gorilla that made you actually want to go with him, man?
The mass, the structure, the head, just all the way around, man. He's just a real, extreme American bully. And I mean, ever since I've been watching your channel, since he's been introduced to the channel, so to speak, or at least when I got familiar with him, he's been one of my top favorites, of your camp for sure.
For sure, for sure. So I'll tell you what, man, you know, I've actually, me and Matt have been real cool with each other ever since he became a Killinois family member. We've stayed in touch. You know, I've gave him all of his I gave him all of his you know, all his information he need to make all these breedings happen. You know what I mean? Of course, Matt did a lot of research on his own. He knew a lot on his own, but I also helped him get everything together, man. And I'll tell you what, Matt did everything, every single thing he needed to do to make sure that he was having successful litters on both of these litters, man. I want to put that out there before we get crazy and deep into this story. You know what I mean? You know, I'm talking about every single thing, man. And, you know, if he didn't know how to do it himself, he would hit me up and I would help him through it. And, you know, but he did a lot of research on his own and didn't need my help on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But he did every single thing he did on both of these litters to ensure that he was going to have a nice, successful litter. And I want to make sure we put that out there.
Yeah.
You know,
No
that
doubt.
type of deal. But yeah, you know what I mean? Here in a second, you're going to be seeing a little clip of Sasha at the vet right before you know, right before her C-section. And for those of you that don't know, you know what I mean? With these American bullies, they're not like American Pit Bull Terriers. They're not just going to spit out, you know, 10 puppies like it isn't no problem. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to do a C-section with these dogs. 9 times out of 10, no matter what, you're going to have to do a C-section with these dogs, and it's just way safer. And this right here is what you're looking at, is Sasha at the vet right before they're actually going to do the C-section on her. And, you know, like I said, man, you know, he did everything. He had the scheduled C-section, everything that it needed to be done. Matt was on top of it. You know, a lot of times I didn't have to tell him anything, but he always knew that if he needed any help with anything, to reach out with me. And a lot of times you would actually try to handle it on your own, but then end up hitting me up and saying, hey, Dayton, what do I do in this situation? And,
Right.
you know, this is what we do with all of our Killinois family members. Anybody that picks up a dog from us, you know, we'll help them throughout all these processes. You know what I mean? And for those of you guys that are Killinois family members and don't know that, can you ensure that to them, bro?
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely. From the moment I became a Killinois family member, you've always been responsive. You've always been answering. If you don't, you get right back to me. Any type of information I needed when it comes to dogs and breeding and supplies, and I mean all the different things that you deal with having dogs. You know what I mean? Whether you know you have a kennel or show dogs, or just you know you have a pet. If you're Killinois family member, I mean, he's absolutely 100% there for you with anything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if it's like a dog food related question, or, you know, some kind of, they got something going on with their skin or something with the allergies, you know, in the, like the summertime, or, you know,
Most
breeding, or
definitely.
you know, what type of, you know, what stud would pair well, you know, with my female. You know, even we talk dogs even outside of, you know, Killinois kennels, you know, just I mean literally anything dog. Yeah, no doubt, man. You've always been there. You know, and I'd be silly not to, you know, peep game and soak up as much knowledge from you as I possibly can. You've been doing it forever, you know,
Yep, I
one of the founding
appreciate that,
fathers of
bro.
this breed, you know.
I appreciate that. And thanks for letting them know, man. And if any of you Killinois family members, you feel like that I'm not doing that with you or something, that just means you don't reach out. You know what I mean? And, you know, Matt knows if he wants to get in contact with me, he knows I ain't going to just send a text message to Dayton. He's like, he knows I'm going to go ahead and call him. And big shout out to you for doing that, bro. Real talk.
That,
Right
that,
now, right now you guys are looking at the day the vanilla gorilla puppies were born. This is them in the incubator, and you know, kind of let them know what happened at this, you know, from this, you know, from the moment of you walking in and all that. Let them know how everything was going nice and good and all that, you know.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we drive about 2 hours, to the vet that we use. 2 hours, about 2 hours one way. We get there and they did a reverse progesterone to make sure that the levels were good and she was ready for the C-section. And she was, so pretty quickly after that they took her in for prep. Um, and then the vet did it. We were able to watch some of that process, which is pretty cool in itself. And and the vet techs are bringing them out, one puppy at a time, and getting them cleaned up and doing everything that they got to do, stimulating them with the towel, getting them wiped down and clean, much like a human baby. And then they go straight into that incubator. And what you're looking at now is 11. So she had 11 puppies.
Huge
Um, you
litter,
know,
huge litter. And that's also another thing, you know what I mean? We've communicated back and forth as far as the progesterone going.
yep,
He took his female in multiple times for multiple progesterones, and that's
yep,
something that you have to do, you guys. You know what I mean? A lot of people think, oh man, that's just wasting a bunch of money. I'll just wait until she hits those numbers. No, you have to keep going and you have to get those numbers and keep me updated on those numbers. And Matt did all that, man. Matt did all that. So,
yep,
yeah. And here they are. You guys are seeing the puppies in the incubator. This is right before they actually went home and all that, man. And just,
yep.
kind of let everybody know, kind of let everybody, let me see where we're at here. Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, kind of let everybody know, once I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Once you put the once you got done at this point, you ended up taking all the puppies home and you know, let's go ahead and start from there, bro. And this is where the story gets kind of crazy, you guys. So, go ahead and let them know, bro. So,
Yep. So after that incubator, they put her on Sasha, mom for the first feeding before we even get out of the vet. Make sure they already get that colostrum going. Um, and so then yeah, we put him back in, got him into the truck, and 2 hour drive home. Puppies, newborns. I mean, really for the first couple weeks at least, they're eating every 2 hours around the clock. So a 2 hour drive back, and it was time to feed them again. And it was we got home about 5:30 in the morning that morning, and my girl was like, I'll take first round, go ahead and go back to sleep, or go to sleep. So I went laid down. She put them on, and then 2 hours later. So now we're at, 7:30, 8 o'clock, put them on again, everything's smooth. Just kind of rotating the one off, and keeping mom in the whelping box with the pups, keeping an eye on them, making sure that mom's not sitting on them or anything like that. And then the third feeding came around about 11ish or so, give or take. And then my girl was getting tired, so she came to wake me up so we could switch off on a shift. And I get up and 2 hours later, put the pups on again. Everything's good, helping mom stimulate them. So mom was a good mom, and she was doing what she was supposed to do. But that's a lot of puppies. And
right, for sure. And she definitely had a litter before this. And let's go ahead and let them know, a short breakdown of how that litter went and everything, just as far as her being a mother and stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It was definitely easy on her, I'm sure, which was cool because it was her first litter. She was new to being a mom, but she was a great mom. Like you said earlier, it was a smaller litter, which wasn't a bad thing, because she was a new mom and she was just getting used to it. I know that
And it's
stuff now.
good for like some practice, whenever you're coming up on a litter of 11, she's already dealt with two, you know what I mean? That type of
Right.
deal.
Well, it was good on practice for us too, because of the litter from Clout was my very first litter. You know what I mean? Like I've never whelped a litter before. I didn't grow up whelping litters, so like it was a good practice run, if you will, with a smaller litter. because it was still a lot, you know. I mean, I had a few years of, you know, research under my belt and knew some things and had, you know, all the supplies that could ever be thought to be needed. And I got,
Man,
you know,
let me say something right there. This dude had every single supply you could ever need. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about he was going crazy. He was not messing around with this stuff. He was very prepared for the whole situation. But back where you was at on the vanilla gorilla litter, you was at to where, you know, you're waking up every 2 hours, making sure the puppies are feeding, and let's go ahead and go on from there, big dog.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, fast forward another feeding or so, and you know, it's around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something. And I take Sasha out. I get her out of the whelp box to get a little break from the pups, you know, see if she, you know, eats something and keep the calcium going, and, you know, just, you know, because they're feeding off of her, you know, so get her a little food or something, and get her some water, take her outside, you know, let her use the restroom if needed. And it was about 2 hours until the next feeding. So I wanted to create a little, you know, break for her, because there was a lot, you know, 11 puppies in there. And so I put her in her crate, you know, and half an hour or so goes by, you know, give or take 30-40 minutes or so. And I hadn't really heard much from her, you know. I mean, she just came out of surgery, you know, 8-10 hours prior, if that. You know, and I went, and it was getting close to feeding time, you know, so I went back, you know, because I'm in the living, this whole operation's going in my living room, you know, so I'm right there on the couch anyways, and she's in the crate. And I had a blanket over the door of the crate, so, you know, she didn't want to get back and be with the pups, just to give her, you know, a little bit of time to herself. And I put the blanket up, you know, and opened up the crate door, and like she didn't move at all, you know, which was, you know, whatever, uncommon maybe. And I, you know, went to touch her, like pet her, like, come on, Sasha, you know, it's time to feed. And she didn't budge. And I had a like a dog bed in there, real like Tempur-Pedic kind of thing in there for her. And I pulled it out and realized that she wasn't breathing. You know, so my girl was there too. I called for my girl. She was in the kitchen, like right there. And I started, you know, flipped her to her side, and then onto her back, started doing the best that I could, man. And I was breathing for her, you know, mouth to mouth, you know, mouth to muzzle. And we were doing chest compressions, and she was gone, man. I really think that the CPR didn't do it. I think she was already, I think by that point, she had already passed. And, you know, of course, you know, one, that's my dog. Two, there's 11, you know, 10-hour-old pups, you know, that need to be fed around the clock and taken care of, you know. So like internally, like you can make, I did my best to make all the preparations and the plans and be thinking outside the box and what am I going to need, but like no one could prepare me, you know, for something like that. You know what I mean?
Most
like never
definitely.
never ever did I fathom, you know, you know, my girl passing away, you know what I mean, 8-10 hours after the C-section, man. And so I had her out on the dog bed, and now I'm in immediate, not panic mode, but just focus mode. Like, what is the next step? You know, what do I got to do? You know, I got some powdered goat milk on deck, but what is the next step? At the same time as trying to keep my emotions down and at a level, you know, playing field, because
and
if
definitely trying to keep your family together at the same time. Go ahead and
right.
let them know a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like, so, you know, that was a family dog, you know what I mean? Like, you know, of course we were breeding her, but she was an at home on the couch, you know, loved her like a family member, you know, type of dog. And so my girl, you know, my girl's emotional. My son isn't home at this point in time, and he's never dealt with any type of death, right? Never lost a, you know, a pet or dealt with any type of death. my daughter is at school and my parents are on the way up. My parents live about 2 hours from here, but because we brought the puppies home, you know what I mean, they were coming up to see them. And my mom's a huge help with, you know, with the first litter, and then she was coming up to help with the second litter, and my dad would help out as well. And so I got Sasha pulled out on the dog bed, and I knew they were going to be getting there soon. Well, coincidentally, here they are at the front door, and I opened up the front door. My dad came in first, and he was like, "Oh, he thought she was sleeping, like, oh, like, you know, she's tuckered out, you know what I mean, like, you know, whelping 11 pups and stuff." And I'm like, "No, she's gone." And I mean, my parents lost it, made me lose it, you know. I mean, I was on the breaking point anyways. And you know, man, and it was just so crazy to be in that type of situation that, you know, my parents are an emotional wreck, right? My girl's an emotional wreck. I'm an emotional wreck. We pulled my daughter out of school to, you know, to come home, you know, and break it to her, an emotional wreck. And then my son had got home, and it was just absolutely heartbreaking, you know, to see how he reacted to it, because he had never experienced death before, and everybody just wanted to be on the floor just loving her one last time, you know. And
One thing
but
I do want to mention is that this didn't just happen, okay? So this was what, 8-9 months ago, you know what I mean, type of deal, bro, or
yeah,
something like that. So
like
keep in mind that Matt has already digested this stuff. We would never ask him to get on here right after this happened. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's fully digested it, but you know, we're not, our goal isn't to get him on here and have him busting tears and crying and
right,
all that. And I mean, I'm not saying that like laughing type of deal, but
right,
you know, if you're expecting some specific emotions out of him right at this exact moment, this happened almost 9 months ago. You know what I mean? That type
yeah,
of deal. So I just want to put that out there, because some people might be like, oh, well, you know, Matt ain't really seem like he's tripping off of that too hard, but he's already swallowed this for the most part, you know, and I just wanted to put that out there. You know what I
for
mean?
sure. I
That's
appreciate that, man. But yeah, I cried for a week straight. I mean, every single day at some point in time, you know what I mean? That I
right.
was tears for a solid week straight, you know, and it still hurts to this day, no doubt, you know, because she was special, you know, like for real life special.
Right.
Um, you know, but yeah, man. So at this same point in time, now I'm like, what do I do? You know, I know what I got to do. I know I got a bottle feed. You know what I mean?
And
And
I'll
I
tell
got
you
bottle.
what, man, let's go ahead and get into that, man. I'll tell you what, bottle feeding 11 newborn puppies is unbelievable, man. And I'll tell you what, you know, the homie Matt really pulled through for this litter, man. And, you know, like I told you before, who am I to tell you that I'm proud of you? But I was proud of you, bro. You and your whole family did their thing, man. And right now, what you guys are looking at is a clip of day one. This is them feeding all the puppies day one. And could you imagine having to do this every 2 hours for the next 3 or 4 weeks? You understand what
Rounds
I'm
the clock.
saying? Go ahead and let
Round.
them know a little bit about that situation, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So those couple like multi nipple things that you're seeing, I already had those prepared. You know what I mean? I already had those on deck. Like
And that's
I
how
had.
much prepared he was. Because I'll tell you what, as I know breeders has been doing this for 10 to 15 years and don't just have those on deck. That's something you're going to have to order and wait for it to come in. And this dude, like I said, this by no means was any of his fault. And also, go ahead and let them know why Sasha passed. Go ahead and let them know, like, what you know, like, let
Right.
them know, you know.
So I called, you know, that day later on, and they said, hey, the vet that did the C-section, you know, will be back, you know, for night shift or whatever. I'll have him give you a call. So when he gave me a call, you know, of course he had his, you know, I'm sorry's and, you know, oh my gosh, it's terrible kind of things to say. But he asked a couple questions, and one of them was, was she hemorrhaging? You know, was she bleeding real bad? Like, did she bleed out? And the answer to that was no. You know, she wasn't hemorrhaging. There was no, you know, excessive mass amounts of, you know, blood or fluid at all for that matter. And I'm like, doc, you know, like what could it be? I mean, like she was a-okay, you know, 1 minute I pull her out, you know, put her in the crate, you know, and check on her 30 to 40 minutes later, but I'm in the room the whole time. You know what I mean? She's just 5 feet away from me in the crate, and 30, 40 minutes later, and she's already gone, you know, by the time I open it up. And he said, man, if she wasn't hemorrhaging, which you're telling me she didn't, I'm like, yeah, she didn't. He said, if she wasn't hemorrhaging, for that to happen like that, and that all of a sudden, the only thing that he said was she passed a blood clot. And,
Wow.
you
Man,
know, the
well,
blood
let me
clot,
go ahead and, you know, and one thing I want to let you guys know is like while you're breeding these dogs, these type of things can happen. This isn't something that is like so like normal just happening, but this is the type of stuff that can happen, you know what I mean? And you know, you're going to go through some ups and downs, and this is a crazy down for a new breeder to go through, man. And you know, I want to send a major shout out to the homie Matt here, because of course he went through it, you know, went through it hard, but he didn't let that stop him. He bounced back, got everything going, and as you guys can see right now, here they are, you know, bottle feeding pups day one. You know, go
yeah,
ahead and let them know a little bit how that went for you, bro. Is just as far as taking care of these little guys without a mother like that and that type of
yeah.
stuff.
I mean, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, to say the least, you know, it's, you know, from the first litter to this litter now, I mean, you know, it's nonstop. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of work. It's hard work. It's extremely, I mean, you were up every 2 hours, literally around the clock. It is an extremely difficult task, even with the mom. So taking the mom out of the situation, as you see in that clip, those are those two multi-feeding nipples, and sometimes they didn't take to them. Sometimes they wouldn't latch, and I had bottles, but I had the puppy bottles. And what I found out from talking to Dayton, calling him up, you know, and letting him know what was going on, he said, "Man, use human bottles." You know what I mean? So I had to go out and went out and got human bottles. He gave me because I went to Tractor Supply an hour after I realized that she had passed, and just swiped all their canned, you know, puppy formula off. I mean, which is, if anybody's ever bought puppy formula before, that stuff is like $9 a can.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
R-
crazy. And
Right. He went and bought all that stuff, and then, you know, then he called me and let me know what was going on. And I was like, I was like, well, if you can take any of that back and make
yep,
sure you guys go do this, you know what I mean?
yep,
That
yep,
type of deal. And
yep.
you could definitely tell the difference, right?
Oh, it was crazy, man. You know, I was able to take 200 something dollars of those cans back for real. And then the recipe you gave me for, you know, bottle feeding pups and the puppy formula, I mean, they took to it like that. You know, you could tell they really enjoyed it, and they, you know, they just wanted to, you know, keep eating it. So now we got, you know, multiple packs of and we were literally just, you know, I'd have a puppy sometimes too. My girl would have a puppy sometimes too. My mom would have a puppy sometimes too. And it was like a whole family thing every
Oh
2 hours
man.
around the
It
clock.
you know, it is so hard to whelp like a litter like this. You guys have no idea, because if you don't have enough people helping you like that, then you got 6 other puppies just whining off the hook. They're all ready to eat. I mean, it is crazy, man. You know, let them know a little bit about like that type of stuff, man, because I know
Yeah.
you had to experience that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. You know, when them puppies get to crying because they're hungry, and you don't have enough hands anymore to grab the other ones at the same time as the other ones, they're just crying it out until this one's done, you know. And then sometimes if they didn't, because we were monitoring how much they were, you know, eating every feeding, and making sure they were getting the proper amounts and proper nutrition, making sure they had nice, you know, fat bellies, you know, and then just kind of rotating pups. And I mean, it was literally nonstop, because if you think about it, every 2 hours they got to eat. And by the time you get all 11 of them fed properly, right? And then because they don't have the mom, now we're stimulating so they can use the restroom, right? So
Right.
we're doing that. By the point in time that they all ate and then they all got stimulated and used the restroom, it's almost to that 2 hour mark where they got to eat again. There might have been
Right.
half an hour, 45 minutes or so to like try to shut your eyes for a second and then right back up again, man. I mean, just, and I feel we did that for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, you don't have much of a choice at that point in time, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know,
It makes it go harder though, man. You know what I mean? Like I've only had two. This is only my second litter. We've always went hard, but like losing Sasha and then these puppies, basically like being orphaned and like all they got is us, you know what I mean? And like I just had to like dig my heels in. The whole family had to dig their heels in, and we just went extra hard for them, because I'm like, I'm not losing them. I'm not letting Sasha go out like that, and the legacy, and she dropped 11. You know what I mean? Like I got to do everything in my power to keep 11 of them alive, and 11 is my lucky number. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I got to do what I got to do.
nah, man, and again, bro, I'm super proud of how you handled this whole situation, man. And
Appreciate it.
like you just said, you got 11 puppies, and you still every single pup survived, and that is a challenge, especially for a new breeder that's not familiar with all this, man. I want to say for real, I'm proud of you and your whole family all coming together and doing everything you needed to do to make all these puppies live, man. Big shout out to you for that, bro. Real talk. I know how it is. I've dealt with having to bottle feed puppies and that type of stuff, man. And it is a pain in the you know what, man.
Yeah.
It is pain, but that type of stuff. But as you guys can see, here's the puppies. I would say they were maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks at this time, Matt. Something like that.
Yeah. They had their eyes open at this point. But hadn't had them open, too terribly long. I'd say you're probably real accurate with that.
Right. Probably more along the lines of 3 weeks old.
Yeah.
And here's a little clip of them probably at about 6 weeks old, something like that. As you guys can see, man, they did their thing, man. They did their thing off of this litter, man. Super, super nice litter of Vanilla Gorilla and Sasha puppies, man. RIP to Sasha, man. That is, and I just want to stress that girl didn't pass on anything that he did wrong. He did everything, every single thing that he needed to do was right. This was just an unfortunate situation, and these are the type of situations that you get into dealing with these dogs, man. It happens. I mean, that personally has never happened to me in those same exact way, but this isn't the first time I've ever heard this, and bad things do happen out of your control. This stuff isn't just, you think everything's going to go to plan. Expect something not to go right, and that's just how this goes. And this ain't the only thing that went wrong. And make sure you guys stay tuned, because we'll get to that here really soon. But real quick, we got 65 people in the building. We got 52 likes. We've had 600 different people join and come out of this. Make sure you guys hit that like button and share out this live if you haven't. What you guys are looking at right now is the puppy's a little bit older, probably about 8, 9 weeks old, maybe 10 weeks old. And here they are, living it up, doing their thing, man. This was before they got their ears done and all that. And boom, here they are with their ears done. But let's go ahead, not only did he go through the trouble of being, of his female passing away and having to do all that. So then he stepped up and he went to go get the ears done. And let's go ahead and get into that information right now, Matt. Let's go ahead and let them know, how that went. You know what I mean? Just start from the very beginning all the way on. You know what I mean?
Yep. So we found a vet. I don't use the vet that we do reproductive work with because they don't do ear croppings. But so, we found a vet, and mind you, this is a reputable vet. This isn't somebody pulling up to the house, not saying anything bad if anybody's ever done that,
Yeah, no, most definitely.
but this is, brick and mortar veterinarian hospital, you know what I mean? Like on Google, the whole nine kind of thing. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes drive or so. And so, we made an appointment, and with so many pups, they couldn't do them all in one day. So, I took males up first or females up first, whatever. And then the next day, the next gender. And, got the ear croppings out. Now, mind you, with my other dogs, we've done crops on them as well. Sasha came cropped, but all the rest of them, I've gotten cropped. And this was the first vet that, and I know it's a common practice, but this was the first vet that actually taped and posted them, right? So we bring them home, and they said, the tape will come off, a few days into a week, and bring them back 10, 12 days or so, 10, 14 days. We'll take the stitching out, and all will be well, which is normal, at least what I've heard, and what I've experienced myself. Right. And we were like 2 days in post crop. So after the crop had happened, and at the base of the tape, like at the base of their ears on some of them, when I say some, I mean the majority of them started looking a little like scabby, a little raw. And I kept an eye on it because I'm like, that it could be irritation from the tape, or where they shave the fur from the ears. And I looked at it, or irritation from them scratching because it's healing, and it can be itchy. I get that. And the next day, so I kept an eye on it overnight. The next day, I looked at a couple of them. It only took me looking at a couple of them. I'm like, oh, there's not something right with this. The bottom where their ear like met their head was starting to look like raw, like a carpet burn or something. You know what I mean? Right. That's kind of what it resembled. Just like the top couple layers of skin was just gone. Like it wasn't bleeding. It was just raw and moist looking. And I'm like, nah, this ain't right.
Right.
And I called the vet, and he said, send me some pictures, or whatever. And I sent him some pictures, and he said, oh, you got to bring them. It was like Saturday, and they were closed on a Sunday. He said, I need to see them in person. I'll open up the shop, the hospital for you tomorrow. Can you be there tomorrow morning? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So we made the trip up there on that Sunday morning, and all 11 of them, which is a feat in itself. And I bring him up there, and he's taking the tape off, and not all the ears on all 11 puppies, but a big majority were horribly, like, infected. You know what I mean? And
let me kind of stop you right there for 1 second, bro. This is some of the craziest stuff I ever seen dealing with some ear crops and things like that, man. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to put it up here. Initially I was going to show this to you guys, but I didn't want to take a risk of getting this live taken down, or any videos getting taken down, or any of that type of stuff. But I'm talking about, I have never seen anything like this before in my life, man. Keep in mind, what you guys are looking at right now as far as the puppies, this was after all that was over, right? This was after all that. This was after, Matt getting the puppies. Go ahead and get back into your part. I just wanted to put that part out there,
Yeah, for sure.
So you were like, you know where you're at?
Me?
Do you know? All right, go ahead, bro. My bad. I ain't trying to cut you off.
Oh, you're cool. But yeah, so he gets, the tape off, and a couple, tapes, and, from them, playing whatever came off. And like in the crate in the truck on the way up kind of thing, we got 11 of them in the same thing, big, large crate, whatever. And we get up there, and he assesses, based on priority on like who needs something done now, and there were a few that just needed like cleaned up, some topical stuff. And there were also a few that, I mean, it was absolutely terrible. I mean, when a matter of from the surgery to fast forward like 3 days later, and they're looking like the ears are going to fall off. And I'm talking not at the line of the crop where, you know, they laser cropped it. I'm talking at the base, like where the ear meets the head. And
Right.
he's like, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know." I'm like, "I don't know how either. You're the one who did it." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we
And let's
we
go ahead and start right there. You know, this isn't like Matt did something wrong to make this happen. You understand what I'm saying?
right,
This is more of the practice of the vet that made this happen. There's no way, like, I've never seen this happen at all. I've never seen anything happen like that, even remotely close. Like,
right.
whatever he put on those puppies to make the tape stick to those ears, I feel like that is what created this situation. You know what I mean? But go ahead from where you were at, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying, you know, I mean, this isn't our first, you know, this ain't the first dogs we brought home with, you know, freshly cropped ears, you know, like we know how to take care of them and, you know, listen to the vet, but we know how to take care of them. And for that to happen so rapidly and so quickly and get to the point of infection of where it got to just in a couple of days is just absolutely insane to me. But so he's like, he's not freaking out, but you know, he's like, "Oh my God, you know, this is so bad. This is terrible." And you know, like where the fur on a few of them, I was thinking if they shook their head, their ear was going to come off. I mean, literally, there was the fur and that layer of skin on some of them was disconnecting right from their head. I mean, it was absolutely horrible. And the worst one, right, the worst pup with the worst ear. Both his ears were bad, but one of his ears was really so badly infected that it was fat, like it was swollen, and it was starting to be necrotic. And he's like, "Man," he said, "I'm worried about this one's ear." And I said, "Well, yeah, I can tell that it's like the worst one out of all of them." And I said, "Well, you know, what I got to do basically?" And you know, and is he going to lose his ear? And he said, "I don't know. You know what I mean? It'll be touch and go for, you know, a couple weeks at least if the necrotic tissue is going to keep spreading, and if he's going to lose his ear and we'll have to amputate or not, you know." And he said, "I want you." So he gives the antibiotics and, you know, he gives the pain meds and he does everything he can do. And then he said, "I want daily pictures updated of their ears." Right. I'm like, "All right, bet." Right. So we pack them back up. We go home, you know, and continue to, you know, do what we got to do with, you know, whelping the litter and doing what we do with them. And next day goes by and I send him updated pictures and he don't respond. Well, another one of the pups had broke one of his stitches out, you know, so it was a little splayed open up towards the tip. And I sent him a picture of that. And I said, "Hey, Doc, I don't know, you know, if this needs restitched or if we're good to go. Like, let me know." Um, and I sent him the pic, and he said, "Looks like he popped a stitch." Like, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? He said, "Looks like he popped a stitch." And I said, "What should I do?" And I never heard from him again. He
Yeah, see,
totally,
the thing is when they're that infected, of course they popped a stitch. You know what I mean?
right,
You know,
right.
this wasn't Matt's normal vet, somebody he dealt with on the regular or anything like that. This was actually the first time you ever dealt with him, right?
For the cropping, yep.
And which is crazy. Did you hear what he just said? He said that he was keeping the vet updated on all information, and the vet just flat out went ghost on him. You know, I really wanted to go ahead and let it be known exactly what vet this was and all that type of stuff, but you know, we're not trying to get sued or any of that type of stuff, man. So it is what it is. It's a vet in Ohio. And if you guys want to know exactly what vet it was, reach out to Matt and he will let you know. You know what I
No
mean?
doubt.
That type of deal. You know, at this point, bro, let them know, like, you know, how you were mentally feeling, how you and your family was mentally feeling by this time after losing your female and getting to this point, and now the ears and all this. Go ahead and let us know, like, where you was at that point in time.
And I all over the place, but if I could sum up that feeling, um, you know, in one word on opposite ends of the spectrum, one word would be defeated, and on the other opposite end of the spectrum is determined. You know what I mean? Because all right, so here's a problem. What's the solution, right? So
Right.
I wasn't cool with hearing from that vet, and I knew, you know, he wasn't a good guy, so to speak, because he ghosted me. But I wasn't cool with him saying I wanted a second opinion, you know, about the one's ear, talking about it's touch and go. I'm not sure, you know, if you're going to lose it or not. So I take him back up, you know, all the pups to my normal vet, the 2 hour, you know, away one for where I get all the reproductive work done at PG tests and all that stuff, C-sections. And by this point, I just bring them the ones that were really bad, right? So I think there was about 4 or 5 of them that I was still concerned with, because, and especially with the ones here, I wanted a second opinion. So I bring them up there. Now, mind you, the first vet sent me home with some ointment, you know, and some pain, you know, pain meds and things of that nature. So we've been doing that, following that, you know, prescription. I take him up to my main vet that I use, and he told me the same thing. You know, he said, "Man, it's going to be touch and go. That one," he said, "the rest are going to be fine. All the other ears, they're going to be fine." He gave me some new ointment stuff and some new meds. You know, but he gave me the same professional, you know, opinion that that one might lose his ear, and so I took it in stride, man, and we got him home. And the next 6 weeks, you know, was absolutely us, you know, playing straight, you know, vet tech veterinarian on top of the other responsibilities that come along with having a litter of pups. I mean, they needed uh, diluted iodine, washed, cleaned multiple times a day, every ear. And then they needed that
I seen
medication.
someone in the comments says something about neosporin and patience. Bro, this was way beyond that. You understand what I'm saying? I wish we could show you, you know, I'm
Right.
not like, we'll go over that question. I just seen a quick look at it. This was way beyond some neosporin and patience helping this situation out. I wish I could show it to you, but it's way too graphic to show it to you. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But
I mean, you know, and I get it, you know, because like I'm trying my best to describe it, but like it's without like seeing it's real hard to imagine how bad they really were. You know what I mean? Without seeing them, man. But yeah, they were absolutely horrible, to the point that I thought if they shook their head too hard, their ears were going to come off. I mean, they looked like they
right.
that right. I mean, no
It
joke,
was
man.
so bad, dude.
They
Like, I wish I
horrible.
could show you guys these pictures just to show you how bad it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But YouTube is weird in those situations. You know, like there isn't. It's not like it's like, but it just looks wild, and I just didn't want to risk it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
But
But
this.
man, really
Go
6
ahead.
weeks probably. Yeah, just you know, of cleaning them multiple times a day, and then the specialized ointment that the vet sent us home with, and then also oral medication multiple times a day. You know, some form of antibiotic, and then a form of pain medication, man, because these ears were just. I mean, I even like you know, Google trying to find stuff. You know, like images of anything that was even like, you know, like remotely close to what I was dealing with, and I didn't find any. But what I did find was other necrotic tissue and extremely deep lacerations that looked identical or very similar to what their ears looked like.
Right.
um and I mean, and that's just that. I mean, that took, besides every other responsibility to, you know, keep 11 happy and healthy, that took full center stage, you know, a whole lot of time and a whole lot of focus, you know, because you got to keep them clean, and then you got to keep them medicated, man. And it was a 6-week process. And you know, the silver lining to, you know, the part of that is no one lost ears. You know, everybody healed up fine. You can't
Did
even
your
tell.
thing, man. You guys did your thing, man. Like I
No,
said, man, I know a lot of people would have damn near gave up by this moment. You know what I mean? But you
for
guys did your
sure.
thing. 11 puppies, got all their ears right, got all of them together, man. And like I said, bro, who am I to tell you I'm proud of you, bro? But I am definitely proud of you guys and the
No,
way
that
you
means a
guys
lot,
got
man, for
got
sure.
this stuff together. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. In those clips that you guys were just looking at with the puppies running around playing, that was shortly after he had got these guys together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But now we're going to go ahead and get into the puppies being together and, all together. This is where the story ends up getting good. This is where there's no more really drama in the story or any of that type of stuff. But let's go ahead and get into that, man. So here they are, you guys. Oops, wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. I want to make sure you guys get a full look at them here. But here they are, you guys. Here they are at probably about 4.5, 5 months old right here. This is all of them playing around, running around, and that type of stuff, man. And, you know, at this time, Matt really wasn't doing no promotion off of these puppies at all. He wasn't posting them anywhere. He was really waiting for us to be able to post them on the channel for all you guys to see. And trust me, we had all intentions on doing that. But right as he sent me this footage, this was the footage we was going to use to show him you guys, to let you guys know that you guys could pick up some puppies from him. And once he sent me this footage, we was in the middle of a litter, and once we had dropped that litter, I was ready to help Matt and get his puppies up for him, that type of deal. Unfortunately, as most of you guys know that follow the channel, you guys know that our computer, it was like any obstacle that could go on for Matt at this time was coming and knocking him down. And we had totally no control over any of this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, trust me, just as much as Matt didn't want our computer to mess up, we didn't either. This put all of us on hold. So here are the puppies at 4.5, 5 months old. I was supposed to put them up at this time. The computer crashes down, and we don't have the computer for over a month's time. You understand what I'm saying? So Matt hasn't done any promotion at this time, no promotions at all. Hasn't put his dogs. He doesn't have a Facebook page for his dogs. He doesn't have an Instagram. He doesn't have a YouTube or none of that. You know what I mean? So he was fully banking on us to help him with this situation. And, I understand, that to a certain extent type of deal, but for you guys that are, Killinois family, and when we tell you that we're going to throw the dogs on the channel for you and that type of stuff, keep in mind that you need to do your promoting and promotions as well. Don't just throw it all on us type of deal. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Matt did that. So let me get that right. This is not for you, Matt. This is
No
for
doubt.
other people is what I'm saying that for. You already
For,
know I told you, you got to get
no
them,
doubt.
you got to do something, bro. You got to start working on your own a little bit. And Matt did end up selling a couple puppies off of this litter. Okay. But unfortunately, like I said, we wasn't able to get him up. He didn't have no major motion going on any social medias or any of that type of stuff. And just as much as I wanted to get back to work for us, I wanted to get back to work to help out the homie Matt here too. You understand what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
by the time that month and a half time goes, then our puppies are getting older at the same exact time, things like that. You know what I mean? As soon as we got the computer back, we got straight to work, and I had to put up 2 litters up for sale at one time, get those puppies up, all that type of stuff. And you know what I mean? And so we could help out the homie Matt. And this
Yeah.
situation is really to help the homie Matt, man. Matt, not only is he just getting on here telling you his story, but he still does have some of these puppies available. Okay. And, for anybody that's interested in getting some Killinois dogs out in the Ohio area, or no matter where you're at, he's got some amazing blood here going for some crazy steals.
Yeah.
Crazy deals. And the only reason why they're going that cheap is because the puppies are getting a little bit older and that
Yeah.
type of stuff. But with that being said, with these puppies getting older, this is not the puppies right now. Like I said, they're about 4.5 to 5 months old here. Maybe coming up on maybe 6, somewhere around there. But the puppies are now currently 7.5 months old. Okay. So, he's got some crazy deals going on some top-notch quality blood. Yes,
Yeah.
they are 7.5 months old. Some people might think, hell no, I don't want to buy a 7.5-month-old dog. But if you guys are looking to breed these dogs, before you know it, you're about six months to a year in and you're having puppies with these dogs, that type
Yeah.
of stuff. And then also getting them at this older age, you have a better idea of what you're looking at. You know what I mean? Of what the dogs are going to be, that type of stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that type of stuff, as you guys can see, the dogs are good with kids. They've grown up with all their kids, had plenty of interaction with everything. And go ahead and let them know a little bit, that you think you should let them know about the puppies and that type of stuff, man. We ain't made it to the other footage yet. This is still where we're at, that type of deal, that type of stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, for
Here
sure.
soon we'll show you guys the puppies separated from males and females. Go ahead and let them know how you're feeling about this type of moment, though, bro. I mean, by this time you had to be feeling like, whoo, now we're in business type of deal, right?
No doubt, man. Yeah, they really started coming into themselves, about at this point in time. The parvo thing really scares me, man. So like, I take a lot of precautions. I don't let them out, too early. If you do, you do. But I wait extra.
Right.
So this is when they were,
And that's how we move too. That's how we move too, for sure.
right, no doubt. And so they're just getting, kind of acclimated outside, and loving life,
And as
with
you guys
that.
can
And
see, they are most definitely loving life out there. You know what I mean?
yeah, no doubt.
Hold on one
And
second, man. And we got 70 people in the building, man. We had about a 99 people in the building here, man. We only got 65 likes. If you're new in here, please make sure you guys hit that like button and share out the live, man. Come on, y'all. Hit the like button, man. Appreciate y'all. Big shout out to everybody that has, man. But come on, you guys. It's not that hard. Hit that like button. We appreciate it.
for
Go ahead,
sure.
bro.
For sure. But and this, like I see him, every day, but like this, to be looking back on this footage and stuff, like this is when, they were really starting to kind of show out, you know what I mean? They were getting, starting to build a little mass. And I think they look really good in this footage right here, man. There wasn't
And
at all.
honestly, this footage probably, you know, could show them a little bit more justice in the next footage we're going to show you guys, because they are getting older. They're starting to stretch out. They're looking like, Shaq as a 13-year-old kid. You understand what I'm saying? So they're a little bit, a little bit bigger, a little bit leggier, that type of stuff. But, if you're really paying attention to this type of stuff, it's going to give you more of a version of what you really think that dog would be. But these dogs look amazing. Just wait till you guys see them. You know what I mean? That type of deal. I know we ain't too far from it. I wanted to go ahead and let this, you know what? Let's get into it right now, man. Let's go ahead and get into it right now.
Yeah.
Right here, what you guys are going to be seeing is the puppies at 7.5 months old. The first set you guys are going to see are going to be the boys. And like I said, he's got some amazing deals on these puppies. You're going to be looking at pups from $1,000 to 1,500, give or take. You know what I mean? And if you guys see any of these pups that you're interested, go ahead and let them know your number, Matt. That way, I wish I would have had the number ready to plaster on here, but go ahead and let them know your number. And if anybody wants to get in touch with Matt, you also can reach out to me and I will put you in touch with him. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that for sure. But my number's 419 961 7660. 419-961-7660. Call, text is cool either way, but preferably a phone call, man. Let's talk about it. These pups right now are totally, up to date with the dewormer, totally up to date. They won't need shots again until their annuals. That saves money in itself. When you buy a pup, you got to take it to the vet. If you don't do shots in house, it might cost you $200, for the next round or so.
Yep. I mean, not only that, ear crops, everything, you know what I
All
mean?
that.
Like, and there's some solid pups, as you guys can see, man. These dogs are out there. Not only are they some bulls, but they also got some drive, as you guys can see. These puppies are actually 3 times white folks. Matter of fact, I don't know if we ever had that conversation, bro, but you're the first person to do the 3 times white folks breeding. You know what I mean? So, big shout out to you making that white folks blood live on. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. We got 91 people in the building. If you haven't, make sure you guys hit this like button and share the video to all your social medias. We appreciate y'all. We're going to be getting to your guys' comments here really soon. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and, again, you guys are looking at the males, that type of stuff. And these puppies are going for a steal. And not only that, like I said, they're ready to put in work damn near really, really fast. So, with getting them a little bit older, matter of fact, we had one Killinois family member that, when we spoke on that age, he had said something right here. Big shout out to the homie Diamond Cow. Hold on, let me fix that real quick. Big shout out to the homie Diamond Cow. He said, that's a fact. Hold on, my bad. This is a new page and I didn't have this one so much. Hold on 1 second. Let me go ahead and get this to where you guys can see this a little bit bigger. That type of deal. Diamond Cow, he's a Killinois family member that just picked up a pup off our last litter, and he's a repeat. He says, that's facts. He's like, I'm up in here. I'm glad this time this boy was older. I just got from the last litter. As you guys can see, when they're older, they're a little bit more manageable. You also got these dogs crate trained as well, right, Matt?
Yep, crate trained and potty trained.
That's right. That's right. And he's got a bunch, how many, you did sell 2 puppies and you're going to be keeping 2. So you have, what is it? 7 available.
I got 2 females and 5 males available. Yep.
All right. Yep. This, and like I said, again, what you guys are looking at right here is going to be the males. So if anybody's interested, make sure you tap in with Matt, or you can hit me up and I will make sure you get a hold of him. Don't be calling him, wasting, don't be sending him text messages, window shopping with him, you guys, man. These puppies are getting older and we need to get them into some new homes ASAP. But, you will not find these type of quality anywhere in the world, even necessarily from us, for this type of price. He's just looking to get these guys into some homes. He's been doing his things. This litter has been kicking his butt. And for anybody that's interested in a nice dog for a good ass deal, get with Matt and let him know your number one more time, bro.
My number's 419-961-7660. 419-961-7660.
All right, dope. Where we at? Let's go ahead and get into it. Dan Libby says, what's good, my Killinois Kennels for life? That's right. Appreciate you, Dan Libby. Levi Reyes says, this is great integrity. Appreciate you, big dog. Bobby Banks, that's another major Killinois supporter in the house. Big shout out to you for tuning in, man. Let me fix this a little bit better. That type of deal. Let's see how that. My bad, you guys. This was a new page that I created specifically just for this live. Where we at? Antoine Brown, that's a Killinois member, saying 100. Russell Kanani Estevez says Dayton is very knowledgeable and helpful. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. I'm going to try to get caught up here. That way we can start answering some questions. Good live and info. Keep them coming. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Rob716 says, damn, sorry to hear that. You know, that's probably some of the, you know, these are some older questions, man. I want to try to catch up with everybody. That's a Killinois family member. You guys can see his dog right there in the picture. Jesse says, damn, that's crazy. Yep. Sorry for your loss. This is more talking about Sasha and all that type of stuff. I'm going to try to get through these comments and let everybody know. You know what I mean? JH says, sorry for your loss, man. Lorenzo Young says, yo, tuned in to the world famous Killinois Kennels. That's right, big dog. That's right. To the top, don't stop says, what's the parents looking like? The parents are, you know, let's go ahead and, you know, right now what you guys are looking at is the females. If, you know, the father of the litter is going to be Vanilla Gorilla, and this right here is the mother. Okay, so for you guys looking for the parents, this is the mother, and Vanilla Gorilla is the father. But let's go ahead and get back to this. Again, you guys are looking at the boys. Killinois family, Fire Bulls on the screen. Appreciate that, big dog. King Tevo says, say the number one more time. Go ahead, Matt.
Yep, 419, area code 419-961-7660.
All right. 2110 Bully says, checking in from New Zealand. One of the legit OGs in the game. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Thanks for letting them know. RL says, how old are these pups? In these clips you guys are looking at, the pups are 7.5 months old.
Yeah, and those clips are just from the other day, like literally.
Can somebody spam that number in the chat? Diamond Cow says, hold on one second, Diamond Cow. Let me go ahead and I'll put it in there. Say that again, Matt.
Area code 419-961-7660.
7660. Matt is located in Ohio.
Yep.
He's located in Ohio, and if anybody needs it shipped out, you're more than welcome to hit me up or hit Matt up. And Matt, I will put you in tune with Mike. He's on the road right now, and we'll get those puppies there fast in a hurry for you. The puppies will come up to date on shots, wormed, ears cropped, ABKC papers, everything you need.
Yep. Ready to go.
RL says, I'm interested. Send them to Ontario, Canada. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested, man, you'll have to pay for the shipping, and you will have to meet the ground shipper at the border somewhere, wherever's closest for you. But that can happen. Old White Lady says, the pup I got from you, Edward, was older too, and it didn't matter. He is awesome. Old White Lady, that's going to be Wendy. That's our Killinois family member. Big shout out to Wendy if you're tuning in. That's what's up. Shout out to Wendy. And she's letting you know, Wendy picked up a male that was like 6.5 months old. And she's an older white lady, like she's explained, and she has no problem with that dog. And matter of fact, she's picked up 2 dogs from us. One of my favorite Killinois family members, the old white lady. That's what's up. Bobby Banks says, yes, sir. Jesse says, nice looking bulls, Matt.
Appreciate it.
RL says, are you able to send them to Ontario? Do you have any experience with transports to Canada? Yeah, we most definitely do. We most definitely do. We have a ground shipper that will meet you at the border. You'll just have to meet him at the border. Wherever the closest border is to you, you will pay the ground shipper to meet you there. But, you know, if you want him to actually bring him into Canada, it's going to be way more expensive, but that can happen. Vince says, nice looking litter. The pups look healthy and well socialized. That's right. That's right. That's our Killinois family member, Vince, in the building. As you guys can see his boy Taser in that photo. Big shout out to you, big dog. To the top, won't stop. Says, where are you located, Matt? Ohio, bro. Ohio.
Yep.
This is going to be Matt's number for anybody that wants it. Go ahead and hit that number right there. And, you know, don't call him right now because, of course, he's on the live. But save that number and go ahead and, you know, tap in with him, man. And if anybody needs any help, we'll get you right.
Yep.
Old white lady says she's 70. And she picked up a 6-month-old dog from us and had no problems with it. Thanks for letting me know, Wendy. We appreciate you. Lloyd Henry says, nice set of bullies, nice bones, solid heads, good temperament, very well taken care of. Great job, Matt.
Appreciate
it. Dago Bully Yard says, I'm late. What's the horror story and what's the ticket on the pups? You know, we're not going to get all the way into that, man. Make sure you guys go back to the beginning of the live. We broke down the whole situation, and the tickets on the pups are, he's got some pups for $1,000. He's got some for $15. Tap in with him. And these puppies, these prices are not negotiable, you guys. He's throwing out some really good deals on these pups, and it's only because they're a little bit older. You know, that type of deal. But I've caught up with majority of the comments here. What's that? Yeah, I'm all the way caught up. If any of you guys got any specific questions, you know, want to know what's up, you guys are looking at the females right now. Both super, you know, all three super solid females. The one female Matt is keeping is this girl right here in the back. But these two girls are available, and they are both solid as can be. Super nice girls, man. Both of them. And the boys are nice too. Let's go ahead and go back to the boys, because we running through that stuff pretty quick, man. If any of you guys got any questions you want to ask Matt, let it know in the comment section right now. And, you know, I can answer them or Matt can answer them for you right here on the live. That type of deal. JH says, Matt did his thing. Good job. I know that's right. That's a Killinois member showing you some love right there, big dog.
Appreciate it.
To the top, don't stop said, what's the mom's pedigree? The mom is out of our boy, White Folks Jr., and our girl, Blutiful. These puppies' pedigrees are top-notch, some of the most exclusive blood you can find, and you will not find them for deals like Matt is offering here, and I promise you that. You won't get this blood from us this cheap, and if these puppies were any cheaper or any younger, you wouldn't be getting them for that price as well. The only reason they are priced at this is because of their age. And as you can see, they are heavily socialized. They're out there having the time of their lives, man.
Yep.
Jesse says, what boy is Matt keeping? The boy Matt's keeping is not in this video. Brian Flattery says, Matt, you getting a lawyer on the vet ear thing?
I wasn't planning on it, man. You know, I mean, I guess, you know, anything's an option, but I just kind of took it in stride. I haven't really the last, you know, 7.5 months, I haven't had time to think about anything else but, you know what I mean, these pups, you know, and, you know, everything else in between. So I kind of just kept it pushing, you know. It was a terrible thing that happened. You know, but also in the same sentence, I mean, maybe for him like ghosting, but you know, I went and got the, you know, I don't know how, you know, I'm not so much.
My partner Alex Toller, he just said, show them females again. He might be buying one of these girls off of you, my boy. That's how nice the pups are. I mean, of course, Alex, he's interested in females because he's a breeder and he's already got a whole lineup of badass males. But yeah, the males are super nice, and so are the girls, man. Right now we're checking out the, you know what, let's go ahead and show the females just for these guys that are specifically interested in females real quick, and we'll go back to the males. Solid females. Solid females.
Yeah.
Troy Larson says, how much for the blue female? What are you trying to get out of her, Matt? Have you made your mind up yet, or?
Yeah, I was wanting 15 for her. But who in the comments you said Troy something? Give me a
Troy
call, man.
Larson.
Yeah, we can talk about it, for sure. Hit me up.
Yep. Make sure y'all tap in with him again. I'm gonna post the number in the comment section. This is the number to get a hold of Matt if you guys need to get a hold of him. RL says, appreciate the quick response. These pups are fire. The live stream is great networking. I'm subscribed and love your platform. Appreciate that, big dog. Like I told you, man, these lives are going to get to cracking. These joints are getting better. I got to get the Killinois members on here to help get this going. You know what I mean? I try to keep it as nice and as entertaining as possible as I can on my own, but we need them Killinois members in here. Make sure y'all get with us, man, or get in the comments and let them know. Killinois members, get on these lives. That type of deal. What's the ped on the mom? The mom is got some of the most exclusive blood in the world. She's out of White Folks Jr., which is she herself is 2 times White Folks Jr. or 2 times White Folks. She comes out of White Folks Jr. and Beautiful. She's got Rocco blood. She's got Muscle Tone blood. She's got Killinois blood. Top-notch exclusive pedigree. This is our blood, you guys. This ain't something. This is specifically Killinois blood. He got both. He got this female from Killinois Kennels and bred her to a Killinois Kennels stud. The father is Vanilla Gorilla. White Folks in Muscle Tone. White Folks bred to a Muscle Tone Magoo daughter, which Magoo is up front on this stuff. The pedigree is insane on these puppies. Yeah. Hewlin says, great, man. Great heart, great litter. That's right.
Appreciate it.
Jesse says, do you take cash or cash app? He could take either or.
Yep.
Either or.
Yep.
JH says, let's go, man. We got 93 people in the building, man. It's picking up in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button and share out the live, man. Hit the like button, you guys. It ain't that hard. Hit the like button. It says we got 87 likes, but we've had almost 900 different people in this live. So make sure y'all hit the like button. And if you're going to leave, hit the like button on the way out.
For sure.
Big Dog Nelson says, what's the price on the 2 black and white males? Let's go ahead and get to that. I know he's got one for 15. That's the one with the more black, right?
Yeah, the one with the more black, 15. The one that's spotted like a cow with the more white, a grand.
You can't beat that, bro. He's just trying to get some of his money back. He's so in deep on this litter, it's not even funny. He's not even going to break even, you guys. You understand? Yeah. He's just trying to get some of his money back. He's got a lot invested in. With everything that happened here with these puppies and stuff, this is why he's selling older puppies like this. It's not strictly only his fault. A lot of it has to do with our computer shutting down, that type of stuff, handling business. We had to take care of our business ourselves before we were in the same boat as Matt, trying to sell you guys 7-month-old puppies. This was just an unfortunate group of events that put it into this situation. Yep. So, as he said, he's got the white boy right here, the more white, 1,000. What you asking on that fawn boy that we was just looking at?
Which one?
Let's see. Yep, you got 2 of them here.
Yep.
So you can see what we're looking at right now, right, Matt?
I can see, but from this, like where the view is in the video now, I can't tell.
I would imagine he wants 15 for that one or 1,000 for that one and 15 for this one. It's up to Matt, of course, but
yeah, no, but you're totally right. One is 50. All right.
Hold on, my bad. I'm trying to get.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just if
there's like a whole nother boy there too that I don't think we really seen in that. Let's go. I'm gonna get to the more updated footage, you guys. All right, here we go. This boy right here, right?
That one's
That
the
one's
brand.
1,000.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, 1,000 for this boy right here. What about this one? This spotted one right here. 1,000 for that one too, or?
Yep.
1,000 for that boy too, and then 1,500 for this boy over here. This boy right here. Yep, 1,500 for him. So you guys can't beat it, man. These are going to be some nice dogs, and keep in mind right now, the way you guys are looking at these puppies, this is their linky stage. And that's no BS. They might not look linky, but this is a linky stage. You understand what I'm saying? They're 7.5 months old. They're like a teenager. They haven't these dogs are going to go be way crazier than what you're looking at right now. And I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
The pedigrees are fire, Jason H says. That's right. Troy Larson says, Killinois been killing the bully game forever. Keep up the amazing work. I definitely will be reaching out about the female. Where are they located? They're located in Ohio. Let them know, like, a roundabout city or your city or whatever, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm in Warren, Ohio. If you're not familiar with that, I'm about 20 minutes away from Youngstown. I mean, I'm about an hour away from Akron, a couple hours from Columbus, you know. Yeah, I'm located specifically in Warren, Ohio.
Okay, and not only that, you guys, you know, if you're not near him, you guys can get these dogs shipped from our ground shipper. And he's on the road right now. And, you know, if we can get enough people, you know, if we can get enough people to hurry up and grab these puppies up, we can get you some really good deals on the shipping and get them out fast for you, because he's somewhat near this area now. So,
No doubt.
that type of deal. But yeah, man. You know, if any of you guys want him to, you know, got any questions about any specific pups, we've been looking at the boys real quick. Let's go ahead and get into these females again. There's some solid pups in here, you guys. You know, make sure you guys go back through this video. And if you got, for anybody that's super interested, you know, go back through this video and check them out, man. And if we didn't speak on a specific puppy that you had your eye on, here's the females right here. Super nice female. This girl, both of them are nice. This girl's going to be a real nice show contender, you guys. For y'all that are looking to get in that ring, super, super nice girl. Both of them are, for the most part. You know, you said, what did you want? 1,500 a piece on the girls?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. But, you know, we're in here. We got 73 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button. You know, Phil... we got Phil in the building right now. He's saying amazing litter. Appreciate that. That's a Killinois member right there.
Appreciate it.
We just want to get on here and help out the homie Matt while we're in between litters right now. That type of stuff, man. Super, super nice girls, as you guys can see. Solid, solid girls. The one in the back is not for sale. That's his keeper. I just told him to put her in there since there's only a couple females. That type of deal. And he did sell 2 pups. What pups did you sell? Were they both females?
Yep.
Both females, okay. And they wasn't like the top ones. You guys are getting more of the, you guys have got more of the top of the litter right here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, no BS.
How much
man.
to ship to Minnesota? I'm not 100% sure, but it shouldn't be that bad at all. It shouldn't be that bad. Shouldn't be that bad at all. You never know. Matt might be willing to ship one of those out too. You never know.
You never know.
Jesse says that's a hell of a deal, man. I know that's right. I know that's right. Super good deal. Farron Simmons says, watching from the Bahamas. Big shout out to you for tuning in, man. We appreciate you. But, you know, for those of you guys that are new in here, this is our Killinois family member that just went through a hell of a storm to offer these puppies that you guys are looking at. The puppies are all in good shape. There's nothing wrong with them now, man. He went through a lot, and if you're not familiar with what he went through, make sure you guys go back previous to the live and go check that out, man. Go check that out. You know, he breaks down the whole story, super sad story, small breakdown. He ended up losing the mother to these puppies. This is going to be the mother right here. You know, really messed up story. We're not going to get back all into that. He broke it down fully at the beginning of this live. If you haven't seen it, scroll back and watch it. And we will also be dropping a video that we're marking out from this live right here. So stay tuned for that. Sir Brimington says that girl is going to be a beast. Yeah, their girls are all nice, man. The girls are all nice. The boys are nice. They're nice puppies, man. And like I said, you know, he got a little bit better footage of the females right here where you can really see them. But, you know, the boys aren't no slouches at all, man. There's some hogs in there. Take a look at the boys. Look at the girth of them dogs and the movement. Not only are they some bad bulls, but these dogs can move. Look at them. They're out there. It's super hot, super nice. All the way around the board. Nice dogs.
Yep.
Lincoln Land Exotic says those are some beautiful pups. That's going to be Killinois family, and that's my own personal family. You know, big shout out to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Ryan Campbell says salute, Dayton. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. You know, unfortunately, we wasn't able to get these puppies up as fast as I wanted to, as fast as Matt wanted us to. We went through a lot of BS. If you're not familiar, go back and watch it. We're not going to break all that down again. But they're up. They're going for some amazing deals. You will not find this blood nowhere in the world for these prices. And the only reason why they are priced this cheap is because they are a little older. Jesse says, I like them fawn males. Appreciate that, big dog. Brian Flaherty says, Matt, are you going to breed again? This ain't kicking him out. This ain't kicking him out the game. He's got big clout daughters on deck. He's keeping pups off of this litter, you know, and big shout out to him for having the heart to continue on and do everything you need to do. He didn't mess around not one bit. He got these dogs together, all that. You know, if you guys would have seen them ears, you would have been like, damn.
Crazy.
JH says, man, if I was in the market for another puppy, I would be jumping on these. That's right. That's right. Diamond Cow says, fire price. If I didn't have mine, I'd be jumping on that deal, especially for the people who haven't got a pup yet. You're tripping if you don't jump on these. I know that's right. That's Killinois family member, and he's picked up actually 2 dogs from our kennel. We got 95 people in the building, man. They keep coming and going, keep coming and going. If you're coming in, hit the like button. And if you're leaving, hit that like button, man, so we can help the homie Matt here get his puppy sold, man. Appreciate you guys. Brian, you know, this is a Killinois family member, Brian Flattery. He says, glad to hear that after hell you went through. That's right. That's right. It ain't going to kick him down, man. And I'll tell you what, you know, going through this stuff at a young age in your breeding career, I mean, you know, early on in your breeding career, this makes you a monster for upcoming litters. You understand what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It can't really get much more worse than what Matt's gone through here. You understand what I'm saying? So for him to give up now would be not real in his best interest. You know what I mean? And I'm glad he has the heart to keep going. Real talk.
For sure.
But, yep, we're looking at the boys here, man. We're looking at the boys. That's a solid boy going for 1,000 right there. Can't beat that. Solid. That dog is going to be a monster. And I'm telling you right now, when these puppies, like I mentioned, you know, they're in a linky stage right now. This is the goofiest these puppies are ever going to look. You know, like I was telling Matt, whenever we did the breeding with Vanilla Gorilla and whenever we did the breeding to create Vanilla Gorilla with White Folks and Cookie, you know, there was only 2 pups, and I did that for a puppy back deal. Well, being that there was only 2 pups, I had let my partner keep I was supposed to be getting a pup back, but since there was only 2 pups, I let my partner keep Vanilla Gorilla. Well, when Vanilla Gorilla was this age, he was looking so goofy that my partner said, you know what, Dayton, I'm going to sell this dog. And I told him, I said, man, no, you're not. Man, I will take that boy. And I just knew how nice he was as a puppy. There was no way in hell he was going to be looking goofy like this. You know what I mean? So I kept Vanilla Gorilla, and look at Vanilla Gorilla now. That same partner, when he seen Vanilla Gorilla, you know, he damn near busted a tear. He was so upset with himself for not keeping that boy. You got to have faith in these dogs. You got to have faith in the blood, and they're going for some amazing deals that you will not be able to beat. All pups come ABKC registered, up to date on shots, wormed, ears cropped, everything, just like we do here at the Killinois camp. So can't beat it. The black male with the more black on his back, he's going for 1,500. The one with less black is going for 1,000. These girls both are going for 1,500. You know, prices are, these are the prices. You guys shouldn't be calling them trying to wheel and deal, but I'm sure on some of them he might be open a very little bit. You understand what I'm saying? But you know, these puppies are going to go fast. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I've already got people sending me messages talking about send me his info, this and that. So big shout out to you guys. You know, Killinois, or my partner Alex from Killinois Kennels says, Jason H, I'm over here thinking. That's right. That's right. He's thinking about grabbing one of these girls, man. And that's a Killinois member. He knows what the blood goes back to him. He knows what's going on with these puppies. And he knows that there is some quality stuff in here going for a crazy steal that you will never find us giving these dogs away this cheap. I don't care if they're 6, 7 months old. And Matt just doesn't have the following. You know what I mean? And that's something that me and Matt have been talking about a lot here lately. We've been talking a lot about, you know, you got to get them out there and get them going on your own as well. You know, I'll always help you, but you got to get yours, you know, get yours going as well. That type of deal. JH says, hell yeah, Alex. JH is agreeing with Alex, you know, my partner Alex, which, you know, produces some of your guys' favorite dogs on this channel, is really thinking about buying one of these girls. Blind says, pay him what he asked. He already took a loss. That's right. That's right. Don't be calling them trying to lowball them. These are deals, man. These are deals. And, you know, don't be calling them trying to lowball them, bro. Don't let them do that to you, bro. Don't let them do that to you. Don't let that do that to you. This is quality blood he's offering at a good introductory price. Don't call him trying to do that, man. Don't call him trying to do that. You know, I want to send, you know, RIP to Sasha, man. RIP to this girl, man. Real talk, man. And I'm really sorry that you went through all this, man. It's very unfortunate. You know, very, very unfortunate situation. If you're new in here and you're not understanding, the mother of these puppies died after birth. You know, she wasn't even alive, what, 12 hours afterwards? Nope. And, you know, she ended up having a blood clot and she passed away, man. And, you know, that's super unfortunate, man. RIP to Sasha, man. And I'm really sorry, bro, that you went through that. Real talk.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
Straight up. What are we looking like? We've been in here now. Now it's 9 o'clock. We've been in here for about 2 hours, man. If you guys, you know, let's go ahead and get ourselves out of these little boxes here. That way you can be a little bit more comfortable and move around a little bit, Matt, type of deal, man. I know you've been stuck there, that type of stuff, man. So let's go ahead and get into this. That way you guys can get a better view of Matt, that type of stuff. Matt has been a stand-up Killinois member the whole entire time, man. Stand-up dude, nothing but love for him, man, and I'll always have his back. I will always be there as a, you know, not, you know, I'm not even gonna say a mentor, you know what I mean, but I'm gonna always be there as a good homie and help him out with anything, man. And you know, if you guys are in the Ohio area, hit up Matt and go check these dogs out in person. You know what I mean? Go check them out in person and hand pick your dog right in person. You don't have to go just off of these videos, that type of deal. You know what I mean?
Pull up.
If there's anything that you want to let them know while we're in here, bro, you know, if you guys got any specific questions for Matt, let us know in the comment section. And if there's anything that you want to let him know right now, go ahead and let him know, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. You know, what you've seen on the videos is what's really here. You know what I mean? What's in the next room in this house, man. You know, if you're in driving distance, you're more than welcome to pull up on me. Like Dayton said, you know, hand select your own puppy. This is raw cell phone footage. You know, none of it's been, you know, messed with or whatever, man. These are crate trained, potty trained, up to date on shots, socialized bulls, you know, that are going for a really, really low price. You know, and my loss is your gain on this trip. You know, so really, man, if you got any questions, you know, after the live or whatever the case may be, my number again, 419-961-7660, located in Ohio, but definitely hit me up. But man, I'm telling you, if you guys are, you know, locked in or still, you know, kind of on the fence or whatever, Dayton has been here for years at this point, every step of the way. With me, he's always been, you know, supportive. He gives, you know, guidance when I need it, answers any question, always returns calls, you know, or answers calls. You know what I mean? And we've established this rapport, you know, and just, you know, talk back and forth about dogs for years. And like when he tells you in the videos that like he's really about that life, and once you become, you know, Killinois family, like he really is there to answer the calls.
A lot of people don't really understand that, bro. They think like, you know what I mean? Like they think
They're missing out.
it's because they have to reach out. I can't personally reach out. If I reached out to every single partner or of Killinois member, you guys see them in the lives. We got so many Killinois members, man. I can't just happen to call you guys all on your own. Reach out to me and I'm going to answer your phone, bro. Have I never not answered your phone? Like
never, ever.
That
always,
type of deal.
Like never not, you know what I mean? You always have.
And it's not like Matt, you know, don't get me wrong, Matt's a special dude and I rock out with him, but he ain't getting no special treatment. This is how we treat all of our Killinois family members.
Yep. Yeah, so if you're not reaching out, you know, and you want that type of support, or you got questions or whatever, he's totally about that. When he says it on the videos, he means that. And if you're not reaching out, you know, you're missing out. So definitely do that.
That's right. Sure. That's right, man. That's right. For sure, man. We appreciate you, bro. You've been a model Killinois member, Killinois family member, bro. Real talk. You know, like I said, I feel weird telling another grown man I'm proud of you. You understand what I'm saying? But I am, bro. I am proud of you. You know what I mean? I'm proud of you and your whole family. You all came together and made this thing work, man. And as you guys can see, out of all that stuff he went through, man, out of all the stuff he went through, he still got some amazing dogs sitting right there, dude. Like, that's crazy work, man. I'm like, really proud of how he handled it. You know, he handled the situation with the mom passing away. He had to bottle feed 11 puppies from day one. Not only that, then he goes and gets the ears done and the vet screws them over, and he had, you know, puppies that damn near died because the ears got infected. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. And then he bounced back a whole litter of 11 puppies. You understand what I'm saying? And he's got, so what, right now you got 9 of them total. You're keeping 2, right? So that means there's 7 available. So he's got 9 pups, crate trained at home, working his butt off every single day to make sure that they're nice and taken care of. And as you guys can see, they are taken care of. Well taken care of, man. And, you know, big shout out to you guys. Or big shout out to you and your whole family, bro. Real talk, man. You guys did your thing,
appreciate
man.
You, man.
Real talk. But let's go ahead and get to a couple more of these comments. Jesse says, good live, man, and good luck to you, Matt. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Downtown Rich says, Puerto Rico in the house. Salute. Shout out to Puerto Rico. 2OG says, incredible story, Matt, at Killinois Kennels. Great story. Sorry for your loss of your dog. Great job. That's right. That's right. Bobby Banks says, keep banging bad bulls. That's right. That's right. Brian says, thanks, Matt.
Appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in.
JH says Matt and his family are amazing. That's right, man. Big shout out to you guys. You know, we've only been in here for about 2 hours. That's, pretty decent time, man. If any of you guys have any questions, if you want me to go over more puppies again, if any of you guys got any, matter of fact, let's just bring that up before we close this out, Matt. One more time. Let's give them a good look. Let's give them a good look at these puppies. One more quick time for those guys that are, in here that are super interested.
Yeah.
And, if you guys got any questions on any specific puppies, I don't have to answer them. Matt right here, the owner of these puppies, can answer them for you. So go ahead and get them in the comment section, man. And, if we don't get any here soon, we're going to go ahead and shut this live down, man. You got to keep in mind that Matt is a whole hour ahead of us, and it's getting kind of late for him over there. He's got a job and stuff like that to take care of. So, but show the pups one more time, he says. That's what we're on right now, big dog. Again, here's the boys, and here's a good look at the boys all kind of like bunched up where you can see them all together. I'm pretty sure that's all of them minus his male.
Right.
Here they are. Damn it. Solid pups, man. And go pay attention to them in this snow footage, man. Go pay attention to them in that snow footage, because that is like more of a look of how they're going to look when they get older. Right now, they are kind of looking leggy and linky, that type of stuff. But it's all going to come together in the end. I promise you. This ain't like he brought some blood over. This is Killinois' blood. You understand what I'm saying? All the way through. All the way through. Downtown Rich says, let's see the parents of these puppies. All right, we'll do that here in a second. Nice puppies, my man. That's Rob from out there in New York. Big shout out to him.
Appreciate it.
All right, here you guys go. This is the dad right here, you guys. This is the dad of the pups. This is our boy, Vanilla Gorilla. You guys, for you guys that are tuned in the channel, you know how he gets down. This dude don't play around. This just isn't the best time for the 7.5-month-old footage to really be showing off these dogs. It's the leggiest they're going to be, but these dogs are going to bounce back. And as you guys can see, this is the father, a monster bull. You know what I mean? And the mother isn't no slouch herself. That's her. That's not a real good example of her. But here's the mom. Here's the mom right here, you guys. Super nice girl. Super nice girl. Sasha. R.I.P. to Sasha, man. It's really unfortunate. And then if you don't know why we're saying that, go back to the beginning of the live and watch the whole story. And we'll also be dropping a video on this whole situation. So stay tuned for it.
Yeah. And she didn't even get to the point of totally fully, what I mean? Like,
herself. This picture,
right.
She wasn't even fully matured in the pictures that we're showing you guys.
Right.
That type of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Now we're getting back into the puppies. This is their current age. This is what they look like right now. And he's got deals on pups. He's got some pups for $1,000. He's got some pups for $1,500. If you're in Ohio or close, or just don't care and want to drive and do this, go there and check them out. I highly recommend you do that. You can get your dog in person, get your paperwork, shot records, everything right here in person. You know what I mean? And if you live so far that you don't want to do that long drive, you can get them you can get them shipped, and we'll have the ground shipper, our personal ground shipper, ship them out, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. And if we get enough of you guys purchasing them fast, we can get them all picked up on one time and get a good deal for you on the shipping. Pick of the father. We just showed that. Downtown Rich. He deleted his message. So yeah, if you guys are leaving, man, we got 81 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Please hit that like button, you guys. We don't ask for you guys to send us any money, no super chats, even though you can send a super chat, but we don't ask you guys for nothing. All we ask is to hit that like button and share this video, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
William Fox says, how far from Michigan? I'm looking for a male. I mean, you'll have to. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Matt might know, but I'm not 100% sure.
I could probably be at the border of Michigan. 3 hours, something like that.
It's not too far, but it's not exactly close neither. It's a little bit of a ride, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And we got a ground shipper. We've had a couple people out there in Michigan. I think that's Michigan, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's Michigan. Kodesh thoughts. We got 2 pups from Killinois Kennels. Mozzie and Maria definitely come from some good blood. Sorry for your loss. Big shout out to you, Killinois family. We appreciate you. Thanks for letting them know. Downtown Ridge says pocket bullies are more common in New York City. People are getting tired of exotics. Yeah, we don't breed exotics, bro. These dogs don't have an ounce of exotic blood in them. These are real, true American bullies. We don't follow trends over here at Killinois Kennels. We set them, and that goes the same for our Killinois family members, especially ones like Matt that follow our lead. You know what I mean? That type of deal. You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way, Matt, by following our lead.
I know. I mean, it is what it is. I am. You know what I mean?
William Fox says yes. Kodesh says, might need to breed my girl with one of your dogs, really lock in that blood. Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what Matt did here. You know, he's bred his female twice, both to our studs, and he's got some amazing dogs off of it. And, you know, reach out to us, Kodesh, and we will, I hope I'm saying that right. Reach out to us, and you know, we'll see what your female's looking like, and we'll let you guys know the best route to go. And it's ultimately your decision, but we'll give you some good options. You know what I mean? That type of deal. But yeah, what you guys are looking at right now is the boys. We're just going to let this play all the way through, and we'll shut down the live after that. You know what I mean? You guys are looking at the boys. That boy with the white and black right there. The more white and black is 1,000. Yep. This boy's going for 1,000 you're looking at right here. You know, he's got some crazy deals. This boy's going for 15. Is that what you want on him? 15 on this boy right here, guys. And that's a really nice show quality boy right there. Really nice. You know, you can reach out to Matt. He can send you guys some stuff. I mean, don't be hitting him up trying to make him send you a bunch of stuff. I mean, if you're long distance and you're going to buy the dog and you're going to get it shipped, then okay. But, you know, if you're local or even somewhat local, 3-4 hours, anything under 6 hours is not a bad drive, you guys. You understand what I'm saying? That type of deal. And you never know. You might even be able to get Matt to meet you, or, you know what I mean? We definitely got a ground shipper we can put you in touch with. You know, what's up with this one? This one's going for 1,000, right?
Yep.
1,000 on this boy right here. And that's another super nice show quality boy, man. You guys are going to be coming up on some good deals on these puppies, man. You guys got to keep in mind, they are 7.5 months old here. Very, very in the linky stages. This is by no means a final product on these dogs. These dogs ain't going to get crazy taller, but they are going to get broader. You understand what I'm saying? That type of deal. That type of stuff. I highly recommend going and checking these dogs out in person and hand picking. Come with some cash, you know?
Yeah. There wasn't a pet quality dog in the whole litter, man, of 11, you know?
William Fox says, I'll take a male. Is there a number I'm willing to drive to you? That's a deal. I need that boy. Yeah, man, I'm going to put the number in the comment section right now. Here's the number. That's his personal number. If you know, forget it, reach out to me. I'll give you his number, or you can come back to this live and see the number. Go ahead and let him know the number again, Matt.
Yep, for sure. Area code 419-961-7660. Again, area code 419-961-7660.
Super, super nice puppies, bro. You will not get deals like this. You will never find deals like this from us. You know what I mean? We have a bigger following than that. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? We have a way bigger following. I wouldn't care if these puppies was 7.5 months old and they were our kennel. We're selling them for normal price for the most part. We might cut you a little bit of deal. You will not find this blood for this type of deal anywhere in the world, and I promise you that. We're just trying to help the homie out. We're trying to give him a break. You know, he probably wants to go on a nice date with his girl. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? This stuff ties you up, man. There ain't no vacations when you got a litter like this. You don't understand what I'm saying? None of that type of stuff. So we're just trying to help the homie Matt out here, man. And, you know, that's pretty much it, you guys.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. We got 67 people in the building. If you guys are dipping out, make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out. And you know, this is what you guys are looking at, man. You know, big shout out to the homie Matt, bro. You did such a good job, bro. Really, you know, as you're telling me these things are going on, I ain't have a whole lot of faith in you. As you're telling me, not because of you, because of anybody going through this, man. I'm like, ooh, man, it's getting rough. You know what I mean? That type of deal. This dude pulled it together and did every single thing that he needed to do, man, to make this happen. This happen. Vince says Dayton's endorsement of Matt and these pups is as good as gold. Don't sleep on these pups. That's right. That's another Killinois family member in here letting you guys know exactly how it's going, man. But yeah, Killinois family showing love. Big shout out to all the Killinois family showing support for one another. We are a family, and we're about to be proving that to you guys more and more and more. You know, here soon we're gonna have some get-togethers in the Midwest. Hopefully we can get Matt to come out. You know, that type of stuff. Get all of our Killinois family members. We'll record your dogs for you and all that, man. Big shout out to all you guys, bro. And, you know, shout out to you, Matt, and your whole family, bro, for doing your thing, bro. You know, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you want to let them know anything, go ahead. For the new people that might be in here, just go ahead and let them know a little something before we close this down.
Yep. Appreciate it. And if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. If you're not tapped in with Killinois, tap in, man. If you're not tapped in, you're missing out. Dayton's been a man of his word, you know, since the inception, since you know, talking to him on the phone, person, pup, stud service, all that ground, anything Dayton says, anything that Dayton Killinois, his whole team, his whole camp says, you can take that, you know, as their word and as the gospel. You ain't got to worry about sending no money.
One thing I do want to let it be known is Matt didn't buy, he bought a female off my partner Lorenzo Young, you guys see in the comment section, and just from buying a dog for one of my partners, you still got everything went exactly how I state in these videos, right or not, Matt?
Right, no doubt, for sure. So no second guessing that. You know, I understand, you know, if you've never, you know, sent money, you know, through Zelle or whatever, the apprehension, never done business, but I'm here to tell you, and I'm not the only one that's in this comment section today that's able to tell you the same thing. You know, he's a man of his word, and the whole team, you know, if they say something, that's what they mean, and that's what's going to happen, and that's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? You send money for a pup, you're going to get the pup that you sent money for. You know, you send money for a stud, you're going to get the stud service that you sent money for, you know, and then being part of the family, you know, but you got to pick up that phone and call. You know, with this litter, you know, I can't thank you enough for, you know, I mean, always being there for me, you know, and all of that, you know, from the past, but I mean, present day, you know, put me on the live, you know, this setting it up, you know, takes time. We did that twice, you know, because the computer goes down.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all of this stuff, man.
We had already planned on doing this. We had already set this up to do this the same exact way before, and the computer shut down. It was just a mess, man. So, you know, big shout out to you, bro. You're a stand-up Killinois family member, somebody that goes hard. You're always in the comments letting everybody know how we get down, and went super hard for this whole overall process, man. You know, that type of deal, man. We rock out with you heavy, bro, and you already know. You know, if you need anything from us, we ain't nothing but a phone call away, man. And, you know, for those of you guys that are watching, that are interested in purchasing one, don't hesitate to hit me up and I will put you in tune with Matt. And again, here is the number one more time for you guys. Go ahead and let them know one more time, big dog.
Yep. Area code 419-961-7660. Again, area code.
Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, you're good. Again, 419-961-7660.
Man, that's right. Let's get these puppies sold for Matt. Share this live out so people can see it, man. Here soon, we're going to be chopping this down and making it a video because our videos do better than our lives on a lot of occasions. So we're going to chop this down, make a video, you know, kind of make it a little bit shorter so you guys can see what's going on here. That type of deal, man. But, you know, big shout out to you, bro. Shout out to your whole family. And you already know we locked in for life, bro. You know that.
For sure. I appreciate it, man.
That's right. That's right. Big shout out to the whole Killinois family, man. Big shout out to all you guys being tuned in here, man. And, you know, hit this like button, share out this live, and we're going to go ahead and shut it down, man. And I appreciate you, Matt, for getting on here, telling your story and letting everybody know, you know, what's up with us. You know, we got little Dayton in the building. That's him with Napoleon. He says, "Hey, Dad, call me once this live's over, son. I want to talk to you." Doms Braxton says, "Great litter, fire." That's right. That's right. OG says, "That's for sure, man. Nowadays, it's 50-50 when you're trying to buy something. But, man, Dayton and Killinois Kennels are no joke. Everything is straight 100 A+, and they are a 5-star. They are like a 5-star hotel with all the bells and whistles." Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. That's right, man. That's right. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. Hey, I'm going to give you a call as soon as we hang up here, bro.
All right.
As soon as we hang up. And then, son, I'm going to call you after we're done, man. Big shout out to all you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button if you haven't on the way out. And big shout out to the whole Killinois family. Shout out to all the Killinois Kennels members. We're about to have big things coming up, man. Killinois family is almost an army. We're about to change it from the Killinois family to the Killinois army because that's how thick we are. And big shout out to all you guys. We appreciate all you so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we're at today. And that truly means a lot, man. Big shout out to all y'all.
Appreciate it.